Welcome to a new episode of Ball Don't Lie. I'm Jacob Fraser here with my co-host Cam Connolly, and the reason this episode is titled Episode 1, even though we've done some in the past, is because we've revamped the show, and we'll be coming out with weekly episodes covering the NBA this season. We'll also be dipping into some college hoops talk as the year moves along. Before we break down today's episode, Cam, how are you feeling about the new season?
I'm good. I'm excited. I mean, as a Warriors fan, we're 2-0 right now, so I can't complain.
For sure. Well, let's get into it for today. We'll be diving into the opening week of the 2025-26 NBA season. We'll discuss some of the highly anticipated rookie debuts that were made, talk about what team we're going to be keeping an eye on early on in the year. We'll give our picks for MVP and LVP this week, and we'll finish off with a new segment highlighting one of the week's best Canadian players. So let's get into it and kick things off with the reigning champs, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They win back-to-back double OT thrillers against the Houston Rockets on opening night and the Indiana Pacers in a finals rematch. Cam, what's your reaction to those first two games from OKC?
I mean, that win against Houston is very, very important, and I think it will prove to be important as the season moves along. I mean, I kind of hoped, well, not hoped, but if I was an OKC fan, I would hope they'd beat the Pacers. Although it's a finals rematch, I mean, the Pacers team is depleted right now. But I mean, they had some good performances, but I mean, Shea is just wow. I have no words for how good he is. And I was wondering if he would regress a little bit, like maybe he'd be a little satisfied with his performance last year, but clearly not.
Yeah, I mean, a 55-point game last night and then 36, I believe it was, in the first game of the season against the Houston Rockets. But we also got our first look at Kevin Durant in a Houston Rockets uniform. What did you think of his game on opening night?
I thought it wasn't the greatest game that he's ever made. I mean, he got away with that crazy timeout call, but I mean that whole Houston team is very scary, and that's why I think that's going to be a big win for OKC down the road, especially as like the head-to-head tiebreaker could matter as we get further down the road in the season. But I mean that Houston team, like although they lost, like I mean, how are you going to beat that team in a 7-game series? I know that is a crazy stretch considering we were in week one, but barring injury, like aside from the point guard position, that's the only place I'm kind of low on them. Like Amen Thompson, Sengun, Kevin Durant. Like, how are you going to beat that team?
Well, you talk about the point guard position, and their starting lineup had KD and Amen at the guard positions. So Amen's running point for them right now. And then they've got Reed Shepherd coming off the bench. And, I don't want to call bust yet, but he played 27 minutes, went 2 for 7 from three when he's supposed to be a sharpshooter. I mean, what do you like? Where do the Rockets go with Reed Shepherd? Like, can they afford to continue to develop him when they're in this like win now position?
I've always been kind of low on Reed Shepherd. I mean, he got drafted on the fact that he shot 50% from three in college. And the thing is that the 3-point line in the NBA is farther back, and it's like no one considered that or something. It's like everyone expected him to come in and just immediately be a sharpshooter, which is a fair assumption, but it's not a realistic assumption. I've always been low on him, but if I'm the Rockets, I'm going to try and move him while he still has value. He had that big explosion in a team or in the preseason game with a team that had like no rotation guys in it. He was the only rotation guy.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone immediately thought Reed Shepherd was good. And yes, I am looking at my fantasy league. I was watching another guy draft on one of my men's league teams, and he picked Reed Shepherd in the third round. I looked at him. I said, "What are you doing, man? Like one good preseason game does not mean he is no longer a bust." And I think that it's a guy they have to move on from if they want to have success. Because ultimately, yes, Amen Thompson is a very good basketball player, and he is going to be a key piece of that Houston team, but he is not a point guard. And I don't think you
No,
can have him running the point.
no. To me, Amen is a four, like a three or a four.
Yeah, even you could kind of play the two, but it's a little bit of a stretch considering you can't
Yeah,
shoot.
yeah, definitely. I mean, he was another guy that went 0 for 7 from three. I mean, you look at the Rockets shooting, their best 3-point shooter of the night was Alperen Şengün, and the only other guys to hit multiple threes were Jabari Smith and Reed Shepherd.
Yeah.
And neither of them were very efficient in doing so. So, yeah, I mean, like you said, Houston's very deep. They look good, but they've definitely got to figure out that point guard position as the season goes along here to
Could you
be
imagine if
considered a
Fred
true
didn't
threat.
get hurt?
If
That would be
who?
a scary team. Fred,
Yeah,
Van Vliet.
seriously.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous.
Well, let's shift over to the Golden State Warriors. You mentioned you're a Warriors fan, and they're 2-0 to start the year, taking down the Lakers without LeBron on opening night, and then last night they took down the Denver Nuggets with the Aaron Gordon legacy game, 10 for 11 from the 3-point line, 50 points. What did you think of those two games? I'm sure you had a close eye on them.
Yeah, I mean, with LeBrenda or without LeBrenda, the Warriors are going to beat the Lakers. They're going to sweep the season series. Luka gave them 43, and they still couldn't beat the Warriors. I'm very optimistic about the way that Jimmy Butler has looked. I was a little bit worried. I mean, I know that he had the tailbone injury that happened in the playoffs, but I mean, he's looking really good. He's looking like himself, and I was always wondering if he would kind of get back to himself, considering that he kind of accepted that he was going to be in a two role behind Steph Curry. But Steph Curry's starting to look good too. I mean, he had a little bit of a rougher first game, and he didn't have the best start to last game, but he finished that game very strong last night. And yeah, I mean, I'm very, very optimistic about the Warriors team. And I have to say, I forgot to say, I'm also a Raptors fan. All right, I forgot to say that in the opening thing. I'm not a bandwagon Warriors fan. Also, okay, I cheered for the Raptors when they played in the finals, but yeah, I'm very optimistic about the way that the Warriors are looking right now. And Al Horford had a good game last night too.
Yeah, we're gonna get into Aaron Gordon a bit later, but I wanted to touch on Luka Doncic, 43 points last season when he joined the Lakers. I wouldn't say that it didn't work between him and LeBron, but it just didn't look the same as Luka did in Dallas, right? So Luka drops 43 in opening night, no LeBron. Do you like what do you think about when LeBron joins the Lakers again? Like what is that dynamic going to look like this season?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go back to last season quickly. Like when he joined the team, he just looked rattled. Like he looked heartbroken. He looked just not himself, aside from the one time where he absolutely destroyed the Mavericks, where he just had pure hatred in his heart. He looked like disinterested and everything. But this season, I mean, he looks back to his normal self. But when LeBrenda comes back, I don't know if he's going to be willing to play a backseat role. I mean, I can't stand LeBrenda, but he just I think he's going to blow the team up, honestly. I think that he's a cancer. I think that he is not going to do anything good for that team. If the Lakers are smart, they'll move on from him right now while he still has value. He has Scatia right now, which he's week to week. He's not going to be back for a few months. So if the Lakers can get full steam ahead and start rolling, they really, really should look into moving him.
If you move Braun, do you have to move Bronny as well?
Yes. No, I'm just kidding. He's the future of the Lakers.
All right, well let's shift over to one more game highlighted here. We mentioned KD first game as a Houston Rocket, and the Phoenix Suns without KD take down the Sacramento Kings 120 to 116. Devin Booker had a good night, 31 points. Dylan Brooks looked good, 22. Just what do you think of this Phoenix Suns team without Kevin Durant this season?
I mean, they're an interesting team. I don't think we should jump to any conclusions about them beating the UNC team. I mean, they didn't have Sabonis playing. They have DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, but they're both kind of shells of their primes. But although they have a win, and if I was a Suns fan, I'd be happy. I don't think that they should get too happy, as I don't think this is going to last very long. They just have a team full of role players, and yes, they have a star, but I don't think Devin Booker can be the best player on a championship team. I mean, they didn't beat Milwaukee. I just don't think he has the body type or the build to kind of be the guy.
Yeah, I think that's fair. They're going to be a few years away to me from actually being able to compete, especially in the West. The West is such a deep conference that's going to be so competitive for the next few years. You talk about teams like Houston, Golden State, OKC, even Denver still. Like there's a lot of teams there that are going to be elite for years to come. So they're definitely still a few years away, but I feel like it's a good sign winning your opening night game without your number one player from last year. But yeah, let's shift away from the games for a minute here. We're gonna get into rookie debuts pretty quick, but first we have to touch on this betting scandal that involves Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, and former NBA player Damon Jones, which, by the way, we're in Vancouver here, former Vancouver Grizzly. So shout out to Damon Jones. I read a tweet from Rob Williams at the Daily Hive that said, fun fact about Damon Jones, he had his Mercedes stolen while he was here in Vancouver. Outside
So
of
that's
some,
why he needed the betting
nightclub.
money.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just what do you make of this whole betting scandal? We've seen it a lot across a lot of different sports. We're both big hockey fans, and Shane Pinto a couple seasons ago had a 41 game suspension for sports betting. There was all that drama with Shohei Ohtani in the MLB a couple years ago or last year, whenever it was. And then Jonte Porter, Toronto Raptor, betting on his unders and leaving games early. Sounds like something similar went on with Terry Rozier here. So just what do you make of this betting scandal, and like why are these players getting involved in this kind of stuff?
I mean, unfortunately, I feel like it was inevitable with the path that we were going down. With like, I mean, you can't go 2 seconds watching any kind of sport without seeing any kind of gambling ad. I mean, you watch soccer, there's Bet99. You watch football, there's DraftKings. You watch basketball, there's whatever you want. There's everything there. You watch hockey, it's Bet365. I mean, you can't go anywhere without it. UFC, there's Stake.com all over. So it's just unfortunate, but it was bound to happen. And let me say it right now, LeBron James is not innocent on this. All right, they're trying to paint him as innocent. I was clicking on articles that painted him as a piece of this. I'm blocked from the article. Interesting. I mean, what? Damon Jones, his friend, all of a sudden goes down. You know whose friend went down? Who's definitely innocent? Shohei Ohtani. Right? I mean, it's. I mean, what is Chauncey Billups doing, by the way? X-ray tables in poker games? Like, where do you even get an X-ray table? Like, how does this happen? Terry Rozier, dude, you have a $20 million contract. You're selling out over $200,000? I don't get it. But ultimately, when you get the Gambino family involved, I mean, shit, if the Gambino family had a gun pointed at the back of my head, I'm probably throwing games too. I'm an honest guy.
Yeah, I saw something recently, and we do have to mention that this is all alleged because legal reasons. But I saw something recently. I can't remember who it was talking about it, so like don't quote it as anything legitimate. But Jonte Porter was scared for his life, and that's why he got involved in this. It had nothing to do with the fact that he wanted to make an extra couple $1,000 here or there. Like, obviously that's not worth it to an NBA player who's making millions. And at the time he was looking like he was solidifying a role for himself with the Raptors and was going to get a decent extension with the team. So it wouldn't make sense to sell your soul for a couple extra grand when you've got that multi-million-dollar extension coming up. But
like these sports gambling companies too, like they're so slimy. And I was watching, he's a very famous baseball reporter. I was watching one of his TikToks and I'm absolutely blanking on his name. But he was saying that he went to a Walmart or something like that, and he was asked to sign a petition to help veterans. And so he went and he's like, can I take a picture of the petition? And the guy was like, no, not really. I don't want to. He's like, oh, please, please. And he took it and he went and he read the fine print. And it was a DraftKings petition. This guy's out there garnering signatures for a DraftKings, but under the guise that is to help homeless veterans in California. He said something like 0.0008% of all earnings are going to go to homeless veterans. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, yeah, we'll shift off from that, but just such an unfortunate situation going on right now. And yeah, I mean, they've got to figure out some kind of new regulations with sports betting in sport or in from athletes' standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's shift over to the rookie debuts. So let's start with the number one overall pick. Cooper Flag made his debut against Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs. It was a little bit underwhelming. 10 points, 10 rebounds, so double double, not bad, but 4 for 13 from the field. Played 31 minutes. What did you make of Cooper Flag's debut?
I mean, I wouldn't panic if I was a Cooper Flag fan, like anything. I mean, he's going up against Victor Wembanyama. I saw possessions where he's guarding Victor Wembanyama. When
Yeah.
you go from college and you're the guy, and all of a sudden you're guarding a 7'5" freak, you're bound to struggle. I mean, I can't really blame Cooper Flag for having a bad shooting night. He has a lot of expectations on him, and I mean, this is also a positive. I see this as a positive and a negative. Where when he was at those Team USA runs 2 years ago, and he was kind of dominating a little bit, it's something good to look on, and it's something that will give him confidence, and it'll give a lot of people confidence, but also kind of raise the expectations. I think for him, especially when a guy struggles. I mean, he's what he's supposed to be going into his draft year this year. He reclassed, so there's going to be a bit of a learning curve. I wouldn't panic or anything.
Yeah, there was one possession early on in the game. I remember he had a wide open look from three, but decided to pass it up to take on Wemby one on one, and ended up bricking a mid range shot. So, I mean, maybe the moment got to him a little bit. Wanted a nice clip that would have been for his first basket in the NBA too. So yeah, I just think maybe the moment got to him a little bit, and I don't think you need to look at it as, oh, this was a disappointment or anything like that. 10 points is a solid start for the guy. He had a double double, like I mentioned. So yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for him this year to build off of that and show signs of future stardom. Let's shift over here. VJ Edgecombe. So Ace Bailey says, Philly, I don't want to be there. They take VJ Edgecombe instead, and he goes off 42 minutes, led the team in minutes played, puts up 34 points on 50% shooting in their victory over the Boston Celtics. I think he was matched up. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he's matched up against a good defender for the. Was he matched up against Jaylen Brown or was it Derek White?
I want to say Derek White, but I'm not 100% sure either.
Either way, it's a good defender to be matched up against, and he's putting up those kind of numbers. What did you see from VJ Edgecombe?
He used to live off a generator, man. No, I mean, unbelievable. I was honestly not expecting him to really explode at all this year, and for him to explode in game one, I was just. If I was a Philly fan, I would be singing like his praises every single second I'm alive. I would be on my knees thanking God that he sent VJ Edgecombe our way. I mean, like wow, I'm pretty sure I might be wrong, but I think he set the record for most points in a debut by a
Yeah, I think he
rookie.
did.
And I saw something that was kind of funny, and it was VJ Edgecombe is the all-time leader in points per game and the all-time leader in 3 pointers per game. So congratulations, Philly! You officially have the greatest of all time on your team.
Well, that's another thing I wanted to touch on. He shot 26 shots. I think he may have led the team. Let me double check on that, but he yeah, he led the team in shots taken for a debut. That's kind of crazy to me. Lead the team in minutes played and take the most shots, especially when you have Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid, who we'll get to in a little bit as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously his role will diminish a little bit when Jared McCain
Yeah,
comes back, but I mean, to take more shots than Maxi in your debut, whether or not that was in the script, that's a little ballsy. I mean, when you're hot, you're hot, but that is Tyrese Maxey. I mean, know your role, but I guess his role is to have 34 and beat the Boston Celtics on a poverty team. So yeah, I don't know. Like, congratulations, VJ. That is unbelievable.
I mentioned Ace Bailey there. Let's get into his debut. So again, doesn't want to be a Philadelphia 76er where he can get 26 shots, put up 30 plus points. He instead wants to go to Utah where he plays 20 minutes, takes 5 shots, puts up 2 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. As Charles Barkley would say, a nice triple single. I mean, like, obviously the Utah Jazz are not a very good basketball team, but they beat the Clippers in that game, and Ace Bailey was no part in that win. What do you make of his debut and his future as a Utah Jazz?
I am a little worried. I mean, I know it's game one, a little bit of an overreaction, but I'm a little worried about Ace Bailey, especially when he takes contact. He doesn't take contact very well. He gets like swayed away from what he was trying to do and he immediately passes out or he'll take a bad shot or something. He definitely, I think he needs to get stronger as a
Mm-hmm.
player, like physically stronger. I should correct myself. I mean, he only took 5 shots, which I found kind of interesting. But I mean, I wouldn't hit the panic button yet, but I am a little
Yeah.
bit worried. And especially when you have an ego like that, I mean, whether or not it was his ego or his agent's ego, I mean, I'm sure we'll find out one day. But yeah, I wouldn't have a heart full of confidence right now if I was a Utah Jazz fan, if they exist.
Yeah. All right. Let's last rookie that I wanted to highlight here, Jeremiah Fears with the New Orleans Pelicans. He had a solid night, 7 for 10 from the field, 70% shooting, 17 points in 18 minutes a game. They lost to the Memphis Grizzlies, but I feel like that's just a really solid night from the Pelicans' future point guard.
Yeah, I mean, obviously 70% from the field is not going to be sustainable. Maybe he is
Mm-hmm.
carving himself out a bigger role with that performance. But I mean, can you really ask for more? I mean, obviously VJ Edgecombe, I guess technically you could ask for more. But as if I'm Jeremiah Fears, I'm not asking for any more out of my debut. I mean, a solid shooting performance, 17 points. I mean, maybe I could ask for more minutes, but I mean, I'm not complaining
Yeah.
about that.
I mean, just the efficiency to put up 17 points in 18 minutes is really solid, too. Like his per 36 is 34 points right now with that performance. So doesn't, or I guess that's better than VJ Edgecombe because
Yeah.
VJ Edgecombe had 42 minutes. So efficiency wise, it might have been the best debut of all the rookies. But
And
yeah,
he made over half VJ Edgecombe shots and less than half of his attempts.
yeah, exactly. I have been a big fan of Jeremiah Fears in college at Oklahoma, so I'm excited to see what he can do with that Pelicans franchise. But I just wanted to touch on that because I thought it was a really solid debut for him. Okay, let's shift over to our teams to watch. So I've got mine picked out here. But let's start with you. Who is the team that you're watching early on this season and going, maybe they can be a dark horse to make some noise during the NBA regular season and sneak into the playoffs or in the play in?
Yeah, I mean, my number one team to watch, you already picked, so I won't spoil it. But I mean, this might come as a shock to some people, but we were just talking about them. I think that New Orleans Pelicans, if Zion can remain healthy, have a real team. I mean, will they? I don't know. I mean, I'm a huge Jordan Poole fan, so I get a little bit, maybe there's a little bit of bias there, but if they can figure something out there with Jordan Poole and Zion and I mean Jeremiah Fears, maybe he can craft out something. I think that they could be maybe like a 9, 8, 7 seed and win a play-in game. Maybe they can win a few games in the first round. Maybe they can make the second round. I'm not expecting a championship or anything out of them, but I see their ceiling as a second round team, and I think a lot of people are just writing them off just because they're in New Orleans.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. I'll get into mine here. I got the Toronto Raptors. I went different conference, but I what I saw from that first game, like we've been saying, it's one game. Don't want to overreact, but they took down the Atlanta Hawks, who are a pretty good team, 138 to 118, 20-point victory. 7 players on the Raptors roster put up over 10 points, and I just thought, like, with that much depth, the energy they play with, the defense they have. Colin Murray Boyles didn't play in the game either, their first round pick from this past year, who's this shutdown defender. So I mean, you look at the East, it's definitely a lot more open than the West is. And I feel like the Raptors, if they can just figure out that that scoring night in, night out. I think we're going to see a few games where they're in closer, low scoring games because they just don't have that go to guy necessarily. But if Brandon Ingram can be that guy, or if Scotty Barnes can take a step in his scoring, I think the Raptors could be a legit team to make the playoffs this year. And like you said about the Pelicans, I think they could make some noise in the playoffs, maybe go to the second round.
Yeah, I mean, I took a long, hard look at the East, and I was like, maybe the Raptors could finish fourth. Maybe the Raptors could finish third. Maybe the Raptors can finish first. That is how high I am. And I know we're not trying to overreact, but a healthy Brandon Ingram, I mean, there's a scorer right there. He's going to give you, he's going to give you 20 to 25 every single night. Scotty Barnes takes a step. Grady Dick is looking good.
Yeah.
Colin Murray-Boyles didn't even play, like you said. I mean, this is a scary, scary team. I mean, you have IQ. RJ Barrett looked really good. Like,
RJ looked great. I really liked what I saw from RJ. He was great as a playmaker, scorer, everything.
yeah, I mean, and I've been very high on RJ Barrett. I mean, this Canadian bias ever since the draft night. Well, actually, ever since Duke, I was so fired up to see a Canadian on that Duke team. But like, maybe the Raptors can finish first. The East is so weak this year; it's so wide open. I mean, you could argue that they have the recipe to stop Giannis with just how many guys they can throw at him. If you can continue to have a fresh guy tire out Giannis. Celtics don't have Tatum right now.
Mm-hmm.
Pacers don't have Hallie right now. I mean, the Sixers are the Sixers. They're either going to be really good or really bad, and it's too early to tell. I might be forgetting. I mean, the Knicks are still the Knicks. That's one of the teams that kind of worries me a little bit.
Yeah, I'd
But
say the Knicks and the Cavs are the two teams that I'd be most worried about.
yeah, I mean, the Cavs are going to be good, but maybe they can exercise some Cleveland demons. But last year I was pretty low on the Raptors. I mean, I was pretty upset.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of sucked. But all of a sudden, I have a lot of hope for this Raptors team, especially if they can keep this group together. And maybe they are a star away. I don't know. Maybe Scotty Barnes can turn into that. But
I think like you said, BI can be that go-to guy, but it's just the consistency from him, and can he stay healthy for me is what the Raptors need in order to really make some noise later on in the year. But let's move over to our MVP and LVP. I'll start out with mine. My MVP is Victor Wembanyama. Played just under 30 minutes, put up 40 points, 15 rebounds, a steal, and 3 blocks on 71% shooting. I mean, just what a start to the year from him. I really think that this might be the year that he gets into that MVP category. Like if he can, obviously not 40 points and 15 boards, 3 blocks on 71% shooting isn't sustainable, but if he can stay healthy, I mean, he can put up 30 points night in, night out. Who can guard Victor Wembanyama?
Wemby has a bump fade now.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize how. Dude, he has a bump fade. He's already 7'5". He bumps and fade. You can't block him. Like, we're looking at the GOAT. I'm going to declare it right now. We're looking at the GOAT. How are you going to guard Victor Wembanyama? He's going to sweep everyone. And I'm a Warriors fan in the West. This hurts. How? Jimmy Butler's not stopping him. Draymond Green's not stopping him. I mean, who's that guy? He's a Canadian. Olivier Rue on Florida.
Ryu, yeah, on University of Florida.
Fuck. Maybe you're gonna have to sign him to a 10-day and then release him every time you play Wemby.
Yeah.
Because how else are you gonna stop him?
Bring back Taco Fall.
Yeah, I mean, he pump fake, went into a two-hand reverse slam over Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
People don't just do that. That's not normal.
Well, Andy had that and one from 3.
Yeah.
Like he can score all 3 levels. I don't know how anyone's going to be able to stop him without a little Zaza Pachulia.
And he looks strong.
Yeah.
He looks strong. Like, I don't know. Should we call the season now? Should we just stop recording and just say congratulations, San Antonio? If it's not this year, it's next year. And if it's not next year, it's 100% in 2 years.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
They don't even have De'Aaron Fox yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that guard depth with De'Aaron Fox when he's back, like you got Dylan Harper, you got Stephon Castle. Stephon Castle looked unbelievable in that game too. I mean, they're a scary up and coming team. We didn't even mention them when we were talking about teams coming up in the West. They're the number one team that people should be looking out for now that OKC's on top already.
Yep. And shout out Uno Ball, but I made a Uno Ball pick last night, and I put San Antonio as my NBA champion. That's how good Wemby looked. And I know we're not trying to overreact on one game, and I am definitely overreacting on one game. But if Wemby can continue this, I don't know. Just call it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay,
maybe
that's
Chet.
good.
I'm actually curious to see what he will do with Chet. But
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he's another what, 4 inches taller than Chet?
yeah, that's true.
Like
He grew. Like, what? How do you grow? You're 7'5".
let's get into your MVP.
Yeah, and I wanted to highlight this guy because it's probably the only chance that we'll get to highlight this guy
Yeah.
in this MVP category.
Hey, you
But
can't even win a dunk contest.
yeah, Aaron Gordon. What? 10 for 11 from 3 and dropping a 50 burger? What are we doing here, man? Like 17 for 21 from the field, 8 boards, and 2 assists. Let me repeat that. Aaron Gordon had 50 points. Am I dreaming? Like, what happened? I don't even. I mean, they lost. How do you lose on an Aaron Gordon 50-point game? I don't know. I really wanted to take this chance to highlight him because, like, and of course, I'm playing as Aaron Gordon in fantasy this week. Are you kidding me? Sabonis hurt, Josh Hart hurt on my team. Oh yeah, Aaron Gordon's gonna have a 50 burger on super efficient shooting. But yeah,
I mean, this is another thing that I wanted to point out. Like, he took 21 shots. Jokic had 23, but he took 21.
I mean, could you imagine if Aaron Gordon sustains this? Like, maybe I'll just stop watching. We'll see Aaron Gordon versus a Wemby for the MVP. No, but in all seriousness, what a game from Aaron Gordon. I would never have ever expected this in my entire life. I probably could have listed like 40 players before Aaron Gordon who I thought would have 50 points this year. But yeah, good job, Aaron Gordon.
All right, give us your LVP.
Now this hurts me because I'm a huge fan of this entire family. And I had him in fantasy, so I definitely saw it under a microscope of how bad it was. But Lonzo Ball, man, come on. I was so high. I was hoping you're going to turn a corner, but no. 3 points, 4 rebounds. 6 assists and 4 turnovers. And you shot 14.3% from the field, dude, and you didn't even take a 2-pointer. What are you doing? Like, oh, man, I defend you in every conversation, but I can't defend you anymore. I literally can't defend you anymore. Lonzo Ball. I don't know. Do you got anything on Lonzo Ball? I'm just so disappointed that I even had to put him as my LVP.
I didn't catch that game, but I wonder, like, you talk about him not taking any twos. I wonder if he, like, just coming back from that injury, he's out for so long. It was a significant knee injury. Has he just lost a bit of a step and just can't get to the rack like he used to be able to early on in his career and in college?
I hope not, but it's starting to look that way. Why is he settling?
Yeah. Because 3-point shooting is not a strong suit of his. He's definitely worked on it, obviously, since he's gotten into the league, and he's improved it quite a bit. But he's not like this spot-up shooter, 3-and-D kind of guy. He's more of that playmaker that gets the rack, and then if he has an open look from 3, he'll take it.
Yeah, maybe new team, he thought that, or they told him that his role is just going to be a spot-up. But if they evaluated him like that, I think they made a bit of a mistake.
Yeah.
But I hope, Lonzo, I hope you do better.
Yeah, for real. Okay, tell us your now it's my LVP.
Yes.
I've got Joel Embiid. 20 minutes, 4 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 for 9 from the field. From the big man who won MVP just a few years ago. The guy goes 1 for 9 from the field. He's supposed to be this big body that can dominate in the paint, but also can extend to the 3-point line. And it started last year when he came back from his injury. He did not look the same. And he starts this year off. Hopefully, you hope he turns this new leaf, but nope, he's back to how he was last year. He does not look good. And we talked about the Sixers a little bit earlier. You mentioned like they're either going to be really good or they're going to be really bad. And I look at their center depth. They got Adem Bona and Andre Drummond as their backup centers. This is not a team that's going to be able to compete at a high level if Joel Embiid is not going for them.
Yeah, and funnily enough, they somehow won that game. Oh, actually, I know why they won. VJ Edgecombe exists.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
I mean, let's just address the elephant in the room. Joel Embiid shouldn't have won that MVP. There's the old saying, squeaky wheel gets the grease. He got the grease by getting that MVP. I always thought he was one of the most unethical superstars of our time, and I hate that he even was a superstar. I think that he's one of the most overrated players of our time, and he's proving it. He's an injury-riddled foul baiter.
Yeah.
Just call it what it is. I mean, when he did the airplane celebration in Game 4 of the Raptors versus the Sixers series, that was the peak of his career. Still hasn't made it out of the second round.
Yeah, cue the crying picture of him through the tunnel there.
Yeah.
But he only got to the line twice, too. Like, that's another thing. You call him a foul baiter. Like, that's what he is, and he excels when he is doing that. And he didn't do that.
Well, this is what
Like,
happens
he's not
when he
getting
doesn't
to
get
the line.
whistle.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure if he got the whistle, he would have had 14 or 15, but he didn't get the whistle. And
Yeah.
maybe the Bucks out. Maybe they're addressing it this year. I mean, Mathurin got a lot of free throws. Shea got a lot of free throws, but Embiid didn't. Maybe he's lost a step. Well, he has.
But he also, well, yeah, I was going to say he took 9 shots, like I mentioned. 4 of them were 3-pointers. When you're a big that has lost a step, he should just be locked down in the paint. You don't extend, like, you don't want to be that stretch big when you can't move. But he seems to be settling for threes, like we just talked about with Lonzo Ball. He's settling for threes when he's supposed to be that big body presence in the paint, grabbing boards. And like, he's another guy. He's tough to guard in the paint. Like, that's why he's such an efficient foul baiter, is because he is so hard to guard in the paint. Everything looks like a foul. And so he's just got to live there, I think, this year until he can either find another gear, or maybe that's just what he is now. Like, he's just another Andre Drummond, basically.
And I wonder how much of it is mental too, because when you're in the paint, that's when you're kind of elevating your risk of injury.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's just scared to go there because he doesn't want to get hurt again. And I think that time will kind of tell with this. Maybe it's just a one-off game, and maybe he was sick that day. But I mean, I guess the theme is not overreacting, but overreacting, and I'm overreacting and saying he's a shell of himself, and I don't think he's going to recover.
Yeah, I think we might need to title the podcast Overreactions from Opening Week instead of just NBA Opening Week.
Yeah.
All right, let's shift over to our final segment here. This is a new segment that we're going to be doing every single week. Since we're both Canadian hoopers, we love Canadian ball. We're going to be highlighting one Canadian player, sometimes 2. This week we've got 2 for you, but we're going to be highlighting Canadian players in the NBA, NCAA, sometimes even U Sports. So yeah, let's get into that. Let's start off with the obvious one. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 35 points on opening night, 55 points last night. He's gonna be the guy we highlight a lot, and so usually when it is going to be Shai, we're going to have a secondary player to go with it, like we do today. But just this start to the year looks dominant for SGA. What's kind of your expectation for him this year? Is it another MVP, another championship, both? Like, what do you expect from him?
I mean, the guy's got 90 points through 2 games, and I'm no mathematician, but I'm pretty sure that's 45 points a game. Do I think he's going to hold that standard? Probably not. But I expect him to average over 32 a game again. Uh, and I don't see why they shouldn't win another title. I mean, they didn't lose a single player. I mean, they didn't gain a single player, but
They didn't
when's the
need
last
to.
time you ever heard of a fantasy team? When's the last time you ever heard of a championship team not losing one guy?
Hmm.
Like that just doesn't happen. And they have Topic now. Topic actually, well, technically they gained one of their rookies who was hurt all year.
Yeah.
Is it Topic?
Yeah. Nikola
Yeah,
Topic.
yeah. I mean, what? Like that's I literally cannot think of any sport of any time that has ever happened. And I think this is kind of their
Yeah.
last. This is their last year of being the juggernaut because I think they're going to start to lose guys, especially as the second apron kind of
Hmm.
takes a foothold. But geez, not 45 points a game. I know it's only 2 games, but I'm
Yeah. I mean,
speechless.
he speaks for itself. He's going to be a dominant player again this year. We all know that he's going to be in the MVP conversation. I I do think, like, obviously you said you expect him to keep up that over 32 points per game number. If he can do that, I think we'll see another MVP year from SGA. But I also wonder, they seem to like to give it to a new guy every year, and if Wemby, like we mentioned earlier, can continue to be on the rise this year, he's becoming the face of the league more so than Shea, I would say. And so maybe they'll give it to him. But I think my expectation for Shea is to be an MVP guy and to win another
Yeah, I
NBA
think that if they can
championship.
both continue at the exact same pace they're at right now, I would still give the edge to Wemby just because one, voters, what's it called?
Voter
Voter
fatigue.
fatigue,
Yeah.
and two, he's 7'5". But if
Yeah.
Shea averages what 38, 39, how can you not give it to him? But I mean that's hypothetical. But yeah, I mean, should we move on to mine?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's move on to yours.
My Canadian player so far is Benedict Mathurin. I mean, he had 36 points on 47% from the field, which is pretty efficient. And another thing that not a lot of people talk about, 11 rebounds.
Hmm.
He is not normally a rebounding guard, but I mean, 36 points, bro. And I haven't heard really anyone really talking about it. I was talking to my brother last night. I'm like, man, who do you think is your Canadian player of the week? Can't say Shea. He's like, well, have you seen Benedict Mathurin's stat line? I'm like, no. And I looked. I'm like, he had 36. Like what? I mean, I know the Pacers are a small team, small market team, but they just made the NBA Finals. You'd think that this would have a little bit more shine, but maybe it's because he's Canadian. I don't know. The American media wants to hate on us, but just an amazing, amazing start for him.
Yeah, I really like Benedict Mathurin. He's one of those guys that he can be a bit streaky at times as a scorer, and he just caught fire that night. Unfortunately, they lose to OKC, but without Tyrese Halliburton for, I assume, the entire season, if not at the very least a large majority of the year, maybe he can be another one of those go-to guys. Obviously, you've got Pascal, but they lose Miles Turner as well in the offseason. So, maybe he can be a guy that takes a step and becomes more of a star scorer for the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, I mean, the unfortunate thing I think about Mathurin is that his playing style is more of like a Cam Thomas level star than like a Shea
Mm-hmm.
level star. I
Yeah,
think that if he's the best player on your team, you're probably looking at a Brooklyn Nets type team rather than a OKC or a juggernaut.
100%. Yeah.
But I mean, I love watching Canadian players do well, and I'm happy that he is averaging 36 a game.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we wrap things up here, is there anything else that you wanted to get into?
Mm, not at this current moment. I'm looking forward to seeing LeBron have his little downfall as he gets exposed more in this gambling case. I mean, we all saw, well, most of us saw. For some reason, this wasn't very big news when Westbrook came out and said what he said. But I wonder why it wasn't very big news. Oh, LeBron. Hmm. Can't tarnish his image, ESPN, can you? But And no one even saw what Stephen A. Smith said either, but whatever.
Well, yeah, we were
Look at
talking about that before. I said to you I hadn't seen anything.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, Westbrook was pretty much calling him out for all the stuff that everyone calls him out for, like lying. And Stephen A. Smith said after he got in his little spat, there was four black SUVs waiting outside his home. Come on. Where is this hatred? Where's this same energy for LeBron James that we have for Malik Beasley when he was being investigated? Come on, guys.
All right, well, let's wrap things up there. Make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. We've got all our socials linked in the description, and be sure to check us out for weekly episodes. I'm Jacob Fraser. For my co-host Cam Connolly, thank you for watching Ball Don't Lie.